Folks, we are back in a rare Saturday edition of the Terranadome. Of course, my name is Scott Terrana. It's a jam-packed hour once again this week as we will examine how your Boston Celtics got down 2 games to none against the New York Knicks. We'll give you our predictions as to whether or not they will still win the series with a little itty bit of a prediction and preview of Game 3 this afternoon. Then we'll take a look around the league with the rest of the league's playoff action ramping up in intensity. And after that, we'll close out the show with 5 fast talking points on the quick hits segment. And oh yeah, Josh Morris is back on the show once again, ladies and gentlemen. By popular demand, the people have spoken. Josh is back. It's an all-new Terranadome. And guess what? It starts right out. Terranadome. Minnesota was doomed from the start. I mean, this was a ass whooping. There's nothing short of that. It was a complete ass whooping. But I will tell you what, my friend, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And it is time to get them back in the AFC Championship game. I believe that, listen, you're right about Derrick Henry, especially in cold weather. No one's going to want to tackle that guy. So it's going to be imperative for the Buffalo Bills to jump out early in this game and get a lead and force Lamar Jackson to have to play from behind. They can do that. They're going to win this game. Mention things that we love to hear, like we're getting the entitlement out of our team, and we're going to earn the opportunity to come into this building every day. I absolutely love that. One thing I will say for sure, yes, they definitely need to go and spend some friggin' money. They're going to have the most cap space in the league, and I'm going to kill them every week on this show until they spend money.
Known as fair square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome. Terranadome, and it starts right now. Well, folks, welcome back into the show. My name, of course, is Scott Terrana. It's the Terranadome, and we're coming to you on a rare Saturday edition of the show. Thought it would be a good idea because Game 3 of Celtics-Knicks second round, or I guess Eastern Conference semifinals, right, would be Game 3 today is at 3:30. Hopefully you get a chance to check out the show before then. Or if you check it out after and you see that our predictions and previews did not hold water, then you can criticize us for it in the comments, guys. So please leave comments all you want. By the way, Josh Morris, he's back on the show again. He's been getting real comfortable at home lately. He's out of commission after having knee surgery. And Josh, how you holding up, bud?
Living the dream, I guess you could say. Just pretty much bed and walking around every once in a while, sitting down all day. It's a blast.
Yeah, that sounds pretty terrible. So you're pretty much immobilized, right? Like you can barely even bend. You probably can't even bend the knee at this point, right?
I will say, my physical therapist said it was impressive that I was at 90 degrees already. So that's pretty nice, but not a lot of bend now.
No, that kind of sounds like I'm just like clench it up just hearing that because I know that's got to feel like you're pulling something to do that. So
Yeah, let me tell you, that was the most nervous I was about physical therapy. Was, are they going to bend my knee? Are they going to make me bend my knee? And luckily, my physical therapist, he was like, no, you decide how far you can go. So obviously, I'm going to try to push myself, get back as quickly as possible. But that was probably the most painful thing I've had to do so far.
yeah, let's not re-tear the knee and then because you're already going crazy with the amount of time that you've been on the shelf. Yeah, so folks, Josh has been kind enough to join us again today. It's the NBA playoffs, of course. And surprisingly, guys, because we haven't been on since the series started, but your Boston Celtics, and we're going to start, I always remind people, it's a New England-based show. Up here in the Northeast, we start with the Boston Celtics. They are down 2 games to none to the New York Knicks, the 3-seeded New York Knicks. The Celtics are the 2 seed, of course. And Josh, it's not just the fact that they're down 2 games to none in the series. It's also the fact that the way that they've managed to go down in those 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching a clip of Windy the other day, and he was saying, like, Brunson's only shooting like 38%, Bridges is shooting like 28, and you're down 2-0. You had 20-point leads in both games. You couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat right now from the 3-point line. And yet you just continue to chuck them up. So at what point do we go, that's coaching or that's the players. Like, because if you're on the court, you can decide, I don't need to take this 3-pointer. And you know what is most indicative to it? I don't know if you watched all of game 2, but at the end of the game, Jason Tatum catches a ball in the corner. He's wide open for 3. And Josh Hart falls in the paint, and there's no one in front of him. Go take a layup. Go get guaranteed points. Like, and I'll throw some crappy math at you just to prove a point. If you have 100 possessions, right, and you have a wide open 3, what's an elite shooter? We'll say 45%, and that's even upper echelon. It's 135 points. If you have 100 layups uncontested, it's 200 points, or it should be. Well, maybe we'll say 190 if you hit 90%. Take the layup.
Yeah, it's that to me that's coaching really, because that means it's just in their heads that they're supposed to be staying because the analytics say you're supposed to take the threes, blah blah blah, yada yada. So to your point, you kind of mentioned how they had 20-point leads in both games, and we'll certainly get to that because they did. But let's start with game 1. I don't know which one was more horrendous. They're both pretty horrendous. And the fact that they lost,
I think game 2 is worse because you just did it in game 1.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of like my lead into game 2 here, as you'll see in a moment if you don't mind. Game 1, the Celtics took 63-point shots, 6-0. They missed 45 of them. Both of those are NBA records, not just in a playoff game, in any game. 97 total shots taken, and 60 of them were 3-pointers. That is lazy basketball. It's not just the philosophy. At that point, it is on the players because that's lazy basketball. All they did towards the end of that game was play a bunch of iso ball, a bunch of one-on-ones, and they did not move inside the perimeter. They just refused to do it. That's the fact. What else do we have going on in this game? Something's wrong with Kristaps Porzingis, Josh. That dude is like really sick. Like I thought it was just a tummy ache or something like that. This dude's been sick for weeks. He's not really able to really contribute. I mean, he was in this game for, I think it was like 12 minutes or something. I thought it was less than that. He looked horrendously bad in the first quarter. I was like, something's not right with Porzingis. Usually he's physically dominant, and he just wasn't. He ended up leaving this game in the second, did not come back. Your star player, Jason Tatum, goes 4 of 8 with 13 points in the first quarter. I remember sitting there and saying, hey, Tatum's having a pretty good first quarter. What did he do for the rest of the game? 3 for 15 for 10 points. That's it. He was 4 of 15 from 3 in the game. Oh, and by the way, 0 for 7 in the fourth quarter. And 5 of those were threes as well. Celtics bench only scored 24 points in the game. Porzingis had 0 before leaving. Josh, to your point, they were up 20 points with 5:47 left to go in the third quarter. Listen to this. I'm just going to remind you. I know your memory's good, but maybe other people have forgotten. I'm just going to remind you folks. The Celtics' next 10 shots in the game were 3-point attempts. They made 3 of them from the time that they were up 20 until the game was tied at the end of the fourth quarter. They attempted 25 3-pointers. That's in 17 and a half minutes and 6 2-point shots. They only made 2 baskets in overtime, of course, because the game did go to overtime despite being up 75-55, 5:47 left third quarter. Yeah, you're right. I am ranting. We said pre-game discussion. You're like, oh, we're going to be ranting a lot. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, a little bit of a rant. I like when I can use stats to rant, too. That really helps. If you remember, Josh, how did this game end? Do you remember how the game ended in overtime with 3 seconds left on an inbound pass cross-court to Jaylen Brown? What happened?
A steal. A turnover.
Ripped it right out of his hands. Never got a shot up. Celtics lose 105-108 at home. In fairness to the Knicks, 2 of their guys really had great games here. OG Anunoby really had a great game.
Did they both go for 29?
They had 29 apiece. That's right. OG Anunoby, very good, sir. OG Anunoby. And Jalen Brunson had 58 combined points, 29 points apiece. They also combined to go 11 for 20 from the 3-point line. And Josh, as bad as they played in game 1, they still only lost by 3. So surely that couldn't happen in game 2. There's just no way they could do that 2 games in a row. Play that much with their heads up their asses and just settle for lazy. How do you shoot in the last 18 minutes of a game? You take 31 shots First of all, that's impressive on its own, but that just tells you how many. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
May I add, Cat and Josh Hart are in foul trouble. Cat missed most of the game because he's in foul trouble, and you pretty much gift him the ability to not have to play defense because you're coming up court. And I don't care if they're open. They statistically they were good shots. They were uncontested threes. Most of their threes were uncontested. So if you want to argue that fact, I get it. But like, if Cat, they're arguably one of their best players, is in foul trouble,
All right,
misses
thanks,
the
Cal.
entire game, can't get into a rhythm, and then you're like, you know what? You just stay down there. We're not going to make you play defense. We're just going to take a three, get a free rebound. Like, what are we doing?
Again, that's just lazy basketball. It's almost like biting off their nose to spite their face kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's not smart. It's for a team that can be very methodical when they want to be. And I'll tell you, I mean, a lot of people, right? And we haven't even gotten to game two yet, and we will. We'll get to the game two and the rest of the series outlook. A lot of people are still not worried about this. You should be worried about this, guys. You should be. And I'll tell you why. If they don't have Kristaps Porzingis on the floor, it makes a massive difference to that offense. And you can just see it. Go ahead.
And it also, I know you might not think it's a big deal, but Sam Hauser being out now too.
Oh, it is. It of course
because
it is.
now your
Jason
rotations
before.
have gotten a lot tighter.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely.
And Jason Tatum always starts the second and fourth quarter on the bench. Missoula had to switch that rotation up because of the fact that he doesn't have Hauser to fill in those minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, so Hauser's a guy, Hauser's a rotation guy. I mean, he's usually your second or third guy off the bench. Really, I think you're third if I'm being fair, Horford, Pritchard, and then Hauser. But yeah, I mean, do we know what the prognosis is on him? Is it like a hip or something for him? What's going on?
No, so when I read yesterday or 2 days ago when the game was, and I checked if he was going to play or not, he was a game time decision originally. They said his ankle.
Yo, that's never good. I mean, hammies and ankles are like the two things you don't want for a basketball player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll talk about the Golden State series a little bit later on in the show, and I mean they're screwed. I mean,
Yeah.
even if Curry comes back in the timeline that they say he's going to come back, they're probably still screwed.
They'll be down 3-1.
Right, that's exactly like how are you going to steal two? How are you going to steal one of those two games without Curry? I mean, good luck. We'll get to that in a little bit though. So yeah, any more thoughts on game one before we get to game two? Which it's going to be similar, right? The discourse will be similar for
almost. And I think Miller said it on the broadcast, a carbon copy. So can we just rewind and replay?
Well, no, we'll get into specifics. We don't want to be too lazy on the show. I mean, I'm already so lazy that I'm only doing one episode a week as it is, but you guys don't know how much that costs. So, yeah, let's go to game two. Like I said, Celtics are down 0-2 in the series. Obviously, the Knicks won this game. It was just in as gross a fashion. It was a 91-90 final. Gross. The over-under was 211. It went short by 30. In this game, 3-pointers. Knicks only made 9 out of 31. Celtics only made 10 out of 40. So, really easy math, guys. The Celtics are now 25 of 100 through 2 games from 3-point range. That cannot last, and it probably won't. Celtics were up 24-13 in this game after one. New York didn't have a point on the board until like 5 minutes into this game because their first basket was a 3, but it got taken away by the officials. I never really saw why because I had it on mute. But
shot clock violation.
Very good. So that would be one way that it would get taken off the board. Very good. Very nice. Thank you, sir. So definitely should have known that. I have my own podcast. Yeah. So you go up 24-13, and after one, again, you're feeling good about the team after one. Now, does this sound familiar, folks? Here we go. The Celtics are up 73-53, almost the same score, by the way, with 2:18 left in the third quarter. So now there's only 17 minutes, or no, I'm sorry, there's 14 minutes and 18 seconds left in the game, and you're up by 20. There's no way you can blow that lead, right? It's impossible. There's no way it can be done, right?
Celtics said, hold my beer.
Yeah, Celtics said, yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. The Knicks go on a 38-17 run to win this game. And from 8:40 left in the fourth until 44 seconds left in the game, the Knicks went on a 21-2. Sorry, it was 2. I'm sorry. The Celtics did get 2 points in that run. 21-2. In that time, from when they went up 20 until the end of the game, the Celtics went 5 for 27 from the field. And I know what you're thinking, Josh. They actually made 5 shots because I didn't
Well,
think.
I was about to say they went 8 minutes without a basket.
Yeah,
That
literally.
that's that's intramural crap. Like that should not happen on an NBA level
Are
of
you,
your caliber team.
you kidding me? I was better than that in 8th grade after school intramural, and we all know I wasn't that good of a basketball player.
I will say those 2 points on that run, I think they might have been free throws.
You are correct, actually. They did not make a basket for 8 friggin' minutes. You're the defending champions. You are the defending, and I get it. Maybe that means you think you can just la-di-da-di-da with the New York Knicks. Dude, I know you're 8-1 against them in the regular season the last 2 years combined. This is not the regular season. They've got dogs on this team. Tell me you don't like, tell me, listen, if you were on another team, if you were on your team, tell me how much of a fan you would be of Jalen Brunson.
I can't stand Jalen Brunson.
Right, exactly. That's because he's so good. And
Even if he was on my
you.
team, I don't like. He's a
Ah,
great player. He's a great player. I can't stand the flopping and the every time he goes up for a basket. Like, dude, just play ball. Let your skill do your talking. Like, I get mad when Jason Tatum does it. I get mad when Jaylen Brown does it. I don't want to see the guy I'm facing do it in an even more exaggerated fashion.
no, unless it's LeBron, take the emotions out of it. Oh
Dude.
boy.
Every
They
time.
all
Like,
do it. They all do it.
yeah, and it's gross. Why do you
the-
think the viewership is going down?
it's
Because
a
no one wants
bitch
to watch
league.
that shit.
Right. You know what? The NBA is going to be the separate discussion, but the NBA is going to have a real problem on its hands pretty soon. Don't
Are you talking about the draft applicants?
Um,
They have the
no.
lowest amount of draft applicants this year in the last 5 years.
Well, that's not good because this year's draft wasn't even good. Right? Like, what are they going to have next year? Like Cooper Flag and what else? And
Well,
I'm not a college expert by any chance. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying because so many guys are more willing to stay in college for the NIL money.
right. It's a two-pronged problem, right? So because it's not only that, but the NBA product itself has been taking a nosedive for quite some time. And you know what? You want to thank LeBron for that one because you probably can just a bit. Guys take nights off. It's lazy basketball. Analytics seem to ruin every single sport that there is. And the analytics have decided that taking 53 pointers a game is smarter than taking 52 pointers a game. No try. Where's the triangle offense, Josh? How many pick and rolls do you see a game anymore? A friggin' simple pick and roll. Like, I'm not an expert on.
I saw a bunch of it in the third quarter from the Celtics when they went on an absolute great run, dominated, and then decided, hey, let's stop doing that.
No, and then let's just go back to the same crap we were doing in game one. It's just, I don't.
I texted you, this is Celtics basketball. The ball movement was so crisp, it was so good, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, like, what should we do? Maybe we should just walk down court and shoot a three.
Yeah, it's almost like rather than just keep putting your foot on the pedal, it's almost like but that doesn't make any sense either because like why would it? If you jack up a three and you spend 6 seconds on offense, that's not nursing a lead. That's not like running the ball to control the clock in football. Not that we ever want to cross sports, Felger, but you don't. That's not how you control a game. Like by shooting. Oh my god.
And the worst part is when they would try to, like you said, control the game and maybe milk some time, they didn't get into like a real set. They
That's
didn't
what I'm
like do
saying.
anything. They'd come like, oh, okay, let's get a pick. Jalen Brunson on Tatum, and then Tatum goes, I'll bail you out, Brunson. I won't post your ass up and barrel you down. I'll just take a three. Like, what are we doing?
It's exactly like I said in game one. It's like a carbon copy. It's just lazy, uninspired, frankly, stupid basketball. It's just dumb. And they are in an 0-2 hole now. And this is what they have to show for it. Oh, and by the way, Josh, what did you think of Tatum's attempt to close out? Talk about two horrendous. Yeah.
That's exact. I was going to ask you the final play of the game.
My God.
Why doesn't Missoula take a timeout there?
A lot of people have asked that question, right?
Because you didn't call a timeout and you ran the same play. You don't think the Knicks are ready for it?
Well, was Brunson shooting a free throw before that?
Yes.
Did it have something to do with the fact that if he called a timeout, then
No, because number one, that was we should have mentioned that. Drew Holiday, terrible foul. Make him make the shot.
Yep.
Make him hit the shot.
But he wasn't shooting well in this game either.
So make him hit the shot. He hits it, okay. And number two, because Tom Thibodeau knew exactly what was going to happen, he brought in Mitchell Robinson on the free throw. So they already had their defensive subs in. A timeout does not hurt you.
Yeah, you shouldn't be getting out coached. I mean, listen,
Timeout, advance the ball, and draw up
correct.
a play.
Correct. Yeah, no, I mean it's I don't think it's all on Missoula this series, but
No,
that
no, no,
last
no.
scene,
Definitely
like
not.
that last scene, we know, and obviously we love Missoula, we love Joe Missoula.
Coach Joe, come on. We're Warwick guys. We went to vets. I know we're rivals, but come on.
Yeah, that's right. We like Missoula here on the Terranadome. So, but
Absolutely.
in that in that instance, the inexperienced still showed up a little bit. You should have called a timeout, draw up a play, take your time. That's one thing I think that he's very bad at. Is that he did
Because of how aggressive he is as a person, I think.
exactly right. Everything is foot to the floor. And like I thought it was good to see him bleed on the floor and like I mean, which is great. I mean, that's hilarious. But sometimes you just gotta and this comes with age, right? And I think either you or I are the same age. I think you're the same age as him. I'm a year
No,
young.
I think he's 37. I think he's got a year because he played high school ball against my cousin.
But he's still young. Like
Yeah,
he's
no,
a young guy, you know,
absolutely.
some young guy. And like you gotta it's okay to take a timeout. Like you can't take him with you to the next game, Joe. You know what I mean? Like you can't take
Just
them
to
with you.
settle them. I think just to calm them down and be like, hey, we're gonna win
Correct.
this game. We're gonna win this
Seriously.
game.
Seriously, I didn't mean to talk over you there. Go ahead.
No, just to settle them down and say, hey, we're gonna win this game, guys. Let's take our time. Let's get a basket and win.
Yeah, I think another thing that he does too, and which is this can be a good thing and this can be a bad thing, right? But I think that he sort of leaves it up to the players a lot of the time. At least it seems like they police themselves on the, you know what I mean? Like they kind of do what they're going to do, you know what I mean?
Which is okay at times.
Right.
And just like when you have kids, like I let my kids play in the room by themselves, but once I hear one crying, I have to come in and say, no, 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 we're done with this.
Yeah.
Well, so when you see your kids doing something stupid, you got to say, no, guys, we're done with this.
Yeah, that's it's when you have to make a parenting analogy for a professional sports team's head coach, then yeah, you probably made some mistakes along the way as a head coach. But they're down 0-2. Quickly into game three here, Josh. It's about 3.5 hours from now, 3:30 tip. I would have you come by, my friend, but I know you can't leave the house, you poor SOB. So hey man, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the series, if you will, and then you can give me we'll do our what we think will eventually play out here at the end of this discussion. But game three is today at 3:30 Eastern, folks. I hope you got a chance to check out the show before then. I probably should have made it happen sooner. One thing I will say, Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau still playing like a 6.5 man rotation here, Josh, right? So yeah, they're getting 2 days in between games, but it's also true that Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, Michael Bridges. Is it Mikal or is it Miles Bridges? I forget which one they
No,
are.
it's Macau.
Yeah, is that the one that beat up the? No, never mind. I think that's the other one.
No, it's the other one.
Carl
Going for
Anthony.
Charlotte.
Yes, and Carl Anthony Towns. They're all playing between 35, 45 minutes a game in regulation. Other than that, it's just Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride for 16 to 22 minutes a game, and that's it.
And when Mitchell comes in, his minutes aren't usually. I mean, they were in game two, but game one they hacked him. He was out. He couldn't stay on the floor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because he's a horrendous free throw shooter. That's one of the worst free throws I've ever seen shot. That one.
That air ball was brutal.
That was brutal. That's something that I would have done shooting with the wrong hand back in the day because I could never figure out which hand was my better shooting hand. I don't know, terrible shooter. I think these guys are gonna burn out. I do. I don't know when. I thought they would have already. But the bottom line is this. I mean, this obviously is must win. You can't go down 3-0 here. If you do, I'm sorry, but the series is over. It is. Uh, as far as what I think happens today, Josh, I think they need to weather an early storm. That Madison Square Garden crowd is going to be jacked up, especially if the Knicks take an early lead in the first quarter in this game. However, I do think the Celtics come out hungry because they have to. Maybe not super aggressive, but focused and hungry would be good. And I will guarantee you right now that they shoot better than 35% from the floor today, like they have aggregately over the first 2 games of the series. What do you think happens today? I think I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I agree. If you can get like an alternate line at maybe like -10, I'd take it because I think they come out and absolutely kill them. Now, like you said, probably early storm, like first quarter, maybe slow for them, for the Celtics. I mean, Tatum loves playing in the Garden, so I'm hoping he has a really good game. But I think as a team, they are just they realize, again, you're champions. Now, I said, the series originally 4-1. You still have a chance to do that now and go 7 games. So that's how you have to look at it. Just from here on out, it's a new series and just win your 4 games. And I think today is essentially game one for them, and they're going to come out and absolutely dominate.
Yeah, I cautiously I agree with you. That's a nice line. I took them at -6.5 plus a couple other things in a three-legger this morning. No one should trust my bets because I haven't hit a bet other than Kentucky Derby in like 2 or 3 weeks, so nobody should trust me. But yeah, -10. That's interesting. That's got to have some juice to it. I might go look into that after we're done recording. I think they need to blow doors in this game, Josh. I think they need to establish, they need to get inside the Knicks' heads a little bit and be like, because right now the Knicks got to be flying high. These are the defending champs, and we got them on the ropes right now.
And the Knicks have been outplayed for 2 games. Like it's not like they played better than the Celtics in one. They played worse. Your
well,
best player shooting 38%.
they've been outplayed in more quarters than they've been outplayed in more quarters, but the
I think
scoreboard.
both fourth quarters coming in, they were down 10 to 12 points, and you win the game.
Yep, but the scoreboard reads New York 2, Boston 0.
Absolutely. But I'm saying if you're New York, you're thinking, dude, we didn't even play that well, and we beat them.
Well, that's another dangerous mindset too, because that means it doesn't matter because either way they're not going to be afraid of you. So what you
No,
need to do,
I don't think the Knicks should be afraid right now.
no, I don't either. But what I'm saying is, if you're the Celtics, go in there and beat the crap out
Oh
of them.
yeah, no, I concur. You gotta kill them.
You got to be like Caesar Milan and establish dominance and show you are
Exactly.
the
Let
pack
them know,
leader.
like
You are the
like
you are
like
the pack
Pedro.
leader.
Who's
Hmm?
your daddy? Tell them who your daddy is.
What is your daddy? The dog whisperer. Yeah, I used to love that
So
show. That guy's awesome.
you need to go in there and prove you guys we're the top dog here. You're not beating us 4 games.
Yeah, there you go, top dog and the little dog.
Well, Cesar Milan, come on, man. I had to come
Dog
full circle there.
continuity. You're that very nice, very nice. Yeah, you got to, but I think we can at least agree. I mean, you cannot go down 3 games to nothing. If you do, then it's definitely over. I still think there's a good chance it's over right now, and I don't mean over, but I mean like Knicks only got to get 2 more. You got to get 4. It's not exactly going to be easy because I keep pointing this out to people and they don't want to listen to me. But the Knicks have a really good starting five. They have a really good starting five. They do. I just think Tibbs is going to wear them out. And I think if you can push them and get it 2-2 or whatever, get it 2-2, and then it's a best 2 out of 3. You're in the driver's seat at that point.
Absolutely.
But you gotta win. You gotta win and win big today. Start with that, and then is game 4 Monday or Tuesday? I don't.
I think it's Monday because I think usually the only extra day off you get is for travel.
Right, and they're in New York, so that should
Yeah.
be
Let me
should be
double check
Monday.
for
Not that
you.
they're traveling far.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
It's like if they're flying, it's like a what? Like a 40-minute flight.
I mean, it's weird enough that the game is at 3:30 today.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
3:30, and then the next game's at 8:30.
I hate that, man. On a work night,
Like,
I
why not
that.
4, and then 7?
Oh,
Like,
the NBA doesn't care about what you and me think.
well,
This
I
is
mean, it's
another
the
problem.
Warriors, so I get like, that's a 5:30 tip time for them, but still,
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with a Saturday afternoon game. I'm not working. I'm not. I don't.
Monday at 7:30.
7:30.
Monday 7:30 is
That's
game 4.
that's doable. Even if they don't tip till 7:50, that's
I
doable.
know, right? You said tip at 3:30 today. I was like, what are you smoking?
No, well, yeah, right. It's probably be like 3. Yeah,
341. 341. I wish you could bet on that. I wish you could bet on that.
like the Super Bowl, you can bet on how long the anthem is. Today's TNT, right? And then Monday, I think is ABC. I think Game 4 is ABC. Do I have that
Oh,
right?
really?
Because 3:30 is usually an ABC ESPN time.
7:30 is ESPN
Okay.
Monday night.
All right. Well, we've definitely bogged down a little bit too much on the details there. Um, But for me, yeah, you got to win by double digits today. You got to get in their heads a little bit. And just simply put, it's not a hard thing to figure out, right? Move the ball and stop settling for quick, lazy, semi-contested threes. Drive the damn ball to the hoop. You guys are athletic enough to do it. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum can do it. I mean, Jaylen Brown almost seems to do it at will sometimes. Uh, they're better than this. You can't go down in like 5, 6 games to the Knicks. I'm sorry, you just can't. So expect a win today, folks. Josh, good stuff on that series so far. I do want to briefly go over the rest of what's going on in the playoffs. Then I'll tell you what I think for what the conference finals will be. We'll do some quick hits. We'll be out of here. So, Eastern Conference, right? Rest of the Eastern Conference, the other series is we have the 4 seed Indiana Pacers against the 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, and Indiana leads this series 2-1. They stole both games on the road in Cleveland. And then last night, Cleveland went into Indiana's barn and they beat the crap out of them 126-104. Josh, Donovan Mitchell has been an absolute beast in this series 33, 48, and 43 in the first 3 games, respectively. Game 1 saw the Pacers shoot 53%. Game 2 was a Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater that got the win for them. And in Game 3, Cleveland simply outworked Indiana by out-rebounding them 56-37. I still think Cleveland is going to win this series. What do you say?
I love how easily you think Cleveland is going to win, but for the Celtics, you're like, I don't know if they can do it.
But they already got one.
They were down 2-0.
And they already got one.
They got one after being down 2-0.
Yeah, right, but they got it already. Celtics still got to get it. And they won by 22. This is what the Celtics need to do.
If the Celtics win by 22 tonight, you're going to be like, they can win this series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I still think they will. I'm just a little worried. But
I think I agree with you. I think Cleveland's a much better team.
So good. They're good.
And I think what they did last night, you need to use those towers that you have and absolutely dominate that small, like Pascal Siakam, Halliburton, Nimhard. Like other than Miles Turner, like who can really match up with Mobley or Allen?
Yeah. Well, I think that my whole thing with Miles Turner is I always felt like he should be a better player than he is, and he's just so inconsistent sometimes, right? Someday he'll have a monster game and then disappear the next night.
I mean, that's what Halliburton did last night. He was a nowhere.
Yeah, and you can't have that from your best player. I mean, hey, Jason Tatum, you can't have that. I mean, Indiana's a cute, fun story. They do defend well. But, should they be in the Eastern Conference Finals? I don't think so, although they were last year, right?
Well, they also faced a beat-up and worn-down Knicks team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
which went 7 games. Brunson hurt his ankle or fractured his hand or whatever it was. OG Anunoby was out. And every Celtics fan was like, oh, yes, because we wanted to face the Pacers and not the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, and the weird thing about that series last year was that I know it was a sweep, but it really didn't feel like a sweep because Indiana played them to the right.
Yeah, I think the first 2 games were decided in the final minute, right? Jaylen Brown hit that 3. It was the closest 4-0 you're ever gonna see.
Yeah, I know, it was ridiculous. Of course, the national talking heads wouldn't want to hear that though. So I still think Cleveland's got that series. You?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we're in agreement on a Cavaliers and Celtics 1-2 Eastern Conference Finals, although both of those high seeds have some work to do. Let's switch to the Western Conference now, where we have the 4 seed Denver Nuggets, former champions, at the 1 seed, or not at the 1 seed, but against the 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder. Josh, game 1, real tight, 121-119. Jokic and the Thief in the night in game 1, sir. 42 points, 22 boards, 6 assists. Oh, and Denver out-rebounded the Thunder by 20. Game 2, did Denver take the night off? Not so sure. But Oklahoma City, 15-21 in the first quarter. They led 45-21 after the first. They never looked back. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 11-13 shooting, 34 points. Jokic fouls out. Oklahoma wins 149-106. So you got a 1-1 series at that point. And then,
I think that game was a one-off. I don't think you're going to see another one of those.
I would agree. Yeah, I agree.
And let's give some love to Aaron Gordon in game 1 hitting that game winner.
Aaron Gordon has been incredibly clutch so far this postseason. He is responsible for two of their wins thus far. And now game three last night in Denver, like Francesa would say. That was terrible. Defensive prowess and championship experience from Denver, perhaps, in that game last night. Oklahoma City shoots just 38.5%, 9 of 35 from three, very Celtics-esque for them. Somehow the Joker missed all 10 of his three-point attempts in this game, if you can believe it. But the rest of the team goes 16 out of 30. Joker still 26, 16, and 8. 27, 8, 4, and 4 from Jamal Murray. 28, 22, 8, and 5 from Gordon. And 28 points and 8 rebounds from Michael Porter Jr. Denver looks like an experienced team that knows how to win to me. And Oklahoma City's a juggernaut, but I think, what do you got?
The age. The age. They're the youngest team in the NBA. They've never been here. And Denver has, and it's showing because last night
they're being worked.
They had no poise. In overtime, I think they scored 4 points. Like they could not get two. They did nothing in overtime, and that's the poise of a championship team. Jamal Murray had no legs at the end of that game, and he was still out there balling his butt off. So I think that's going to be the biggest difference in the series. And I think, I don't know, I wouldn't put money on it, but I think Denver can win the series.
I think Denver wins this series as well. It's that championship medal. You can't teach it. You maybe not even be able to coach it. I don't know if you saw this, but Jokic is coaching the team now too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, the guy they have is his highest level of coaching, I think, was high school, they said.
Yeah. Yeah, you fire your coach like 2 weeks before the playoffs, and now Jokic is coaching the team too. But you know what? That you may not need a coach with that guy.
Dude, that guy is so good, and he's going to get screwed out of an MVP because the guy on the other side, who without those no free throws last night, he scores 18 points. Like, if he's not getting to the line, he ain't scoring. So he's not that elite, in my opinion. Kid is very good, but MVP, I don't think so. It should be Jokic. It shouldn't even be close.
I agree with you. I think this will be the second time that Jokic has been robbed of an MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Joel Embiid. Last year?
That's such a joke.
Biggest joke ever. But
he's not the MVP of anything. Maybe the MVP
load management. He's the MVP of load management.
Load management MVP. They should make a new award for that, and you'd have like 50 candidates a year for that one.
Hey, I'm gonna take a Joel Embiid day.
Yeah, no, that's what I told my boss. Said, hey, Monday I'm not showing up to Joel Embiid day. So he had no idea what I was talking about. So, but that's okay. I'm with you. Denver wins that series. I think it's not Oklahoma City's timed quite yet. So let's move to the second series and the last one we're going to talk about, the NBA playoffs, folks. It's the 7th seed Golden State Warriors against the 6th seed Minnesota Timberwolves. That series is tied 1-1. Game 3 is tonight at 8:30. Game 1, Golden State won at 98-88. Big nights from Jimmy Buckets, Buddy Hield, and Draymond Green. But Steph Curry leaves the game with a pulled hammy late in the first half. He's out at least a week. I tend to believe that. Game 2, Minnesota wins at 117-93. That makes more sense. Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards go off, as does Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the bench. Golden State, 28% from three-point in that game, 64% from the free throw stripe, and no Steph Curry. I know it's tied 1-1, Josh, but it doesn't seem like, if we go by that timeline, that Curry won't be back until at least Game 5. Is there any chance that they can steal one of these next 2 games and have it tied 2-2 if and when he does come back for Game 5?
If Jimmy Butler turns the clock back 5-10 years. Other than that, unless he drops 50, they can't win. Who is creating offense for them?
They don't have a facilitator.
They don't have anybody.
No. See, that's the beauty about Curry. Everybody just thinks of him as like this all-time great shooter, which he is, but he's also very underrated as a guy, as a ball mover. He's very fast. With the ball gets in and out of his hands quickly, whether he's shooting it or dishing it. And they really don't have another guy on that team that, is a tradition. They don't have a traditional point guard, No. So I look at the box score for Game 2, and like 11 of their 12 guys played in the game. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that in the playoffs unless it's a blowout. Like Game 2 when Oklahoma City played Denver, and like all 12 of both of those teams guys played. I think Golden State's screwed. I mean, it's a fun little run for them. Their stars are all old. All of them. All 3 of them are old. And it doesn't look good right now for them. I don't see them stealing. I think they're going to be down 3-1, and I think the furthest this thing goes is 6 games. It's going to be Minnesota that takes this series, and that sets up for an interesting, not expected at the outset, not an expected Western Conference final of Denver versus Minnesota. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I would agree. If Curry was healthy, I'm thinking you're looking at a really good 7-game series. But without Curry, they don't have a shot in the dark. They are done.
I just think they are done. Oops. So, folks, that will set up, at least in our eyes, a Final Four of Boston versus Cleveland in the East and Minnesota versus Denver in the West. I hope I am right about that. Josh, we're moving it along fairly quickly here, although, wow, like 40 minutes in here, but that's cool. I like it. Thank you for coming on the show again. Of course, my name is Scott. It's the Terranadome. He's Josh Morris. He can't leave the house. So I said, well, you're gonna have to come on the podcast again, because I mean, it's not like you can like run away or something. So
It is. It's a little getaway for me.
yeah. I mean, you can only play so many video games before you start losing your mind. Trust me.
Or your eyes feel like they're bleeding.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, you get like the burn in the eyes, and it's like, oh, that's because I'm not supposed to be staring at this screen for 12 hours a day. Happens with computers too, and TVs. That was redundant. Okay, quick hits segment of the show. Josh, we've only talked about NBA so far. You didn't think I was going to forget about Rafael Devers, did you? Did you? No, of course not. So, Rafael Devers and the Boston Red Sox, who are 20-20, by the way, through 40 games. Like, there is a problem here, and we're a quarter of the way through the season now. It's not that early anymore. This team needs help and reinforcements. It does. Tristan Cassis is out for the season. Not that he was doing much to begin with, but it's a nasty injury. You don't ever want to see that happen to anybody, regardless of how you feel about that player and what team he's on. And Rafael Devers already bit the bullet after he was promised he would stay at third base when he signed the long-term contract a couple years ago. They bring in Alex Bregman late in the offseason. And now Devers is told, well, you're our DH. Now he bit the bullet, swallowed his pride, and after initially completely rejecting it, now he's fine with DH, and he's starting to adjust to the role, and he's starting to look like himself again at the plate finally. But now there's an opening at first base, and we've seen in the past many third basemen that have gone from third over to play first. Kevin Youkiel is a great example of this, and been even better at first base than they were at third base defensively. But Rafael Devers said absolutely not when approached about it by a reporter. He said that he's being jerked around. He doesn't understand the decisions that this general manager is making. He's not comfortable switching positions, and he says the guy played Major League Baseball. He should know switching positions is not that easy. Josh, Rafael Devers makes $30 million a year to play baseball. Do you agree with him on this, or should he maybe suck it up and try to learn some first base? And also, do you blame the team a little bit for this?
I definitely blame the team. I think what you should have done is went to him, told him, you're not going to be a DH. We want you to move to first. It should have been the first thing you did.
I agree.
Get him acclimated in spring training. Exactly. Be like, you know what? Like, we're bringing in Bregman. We want you to still be in the field, but, Bregman's a better option at third. We want to move you to first. Move Casas to DH. Casas isn't the long-term guy.
Probably not, no.
Devers is, and you made Devers the center of your franchise when you signed him to $300 million. That's what you were saying, correct? When you signed him to that kind of money, you are our centerpiece. And then you're going to take that centerpiece and be like, hey, we don't think you're good enough at third. You're going to go sit the bench all game long and just hit. Now, because you're in a bind, you're going to say, well, now we need you to go to first. And first is not an easy position to play. It's not something you can just pick up in a week or two. Like, it would have taken an off season of him training to learn this position properly. And now you just throw him in there. He understands, no, you're setting me up to fail. It's not that easy. You should have came to me directly the first time and not jerked me around. So I do agree with him. And I get he's paid $30 million. You paid $30 million because you were third baseman. That's why.
Yeah.
So I understand where he's coming from. Now, granted, should he, because it's a team atmosphere, want to hey, I want to help my guys out? Yes. But he's still young and he's still pissed off what management is doing it. doing to him. And I bet a lot of guys in that locker room completely understand where he's coming from.
I bet a lot of them do, and I bet a lot of them are pissed off too.
I would agree. I bet a lot of them are like, dude, you're hurting us now, though. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the other thing too. Well, some of these guys, let's talk about like a Rob Refsnyder, like a Romy Gonzalez, like even you got Christian Campbell that can play 3 different positions. I'm just saying, you got some guys on this team that, you know, the only way they're on a major league roster is that they're willing to play like 4 different positions. I'm just saying.
Because they're not as good as Rafael Devers.
I understand that. They're not as good a hitter as Rafael Devers.
Absolutely.
That's great. He's a bat first player. And I'm with you because this is the exact point I was going to make, which is that if you had set him up for the possibility of this, knowing full well that Tristan Casas is never healthy anyway. And I mean, yeah, what he had was a freak injury, but he is proven to not be durable ever since he was drafted into pro ball. If you go back and look at his minor league like seasons, he's been hurt like every year. So you knew at some point you were going to need depth at first base, and you didn't even bother to develop that. So yeah, you want to ask a kid to learn on the fly in the middle of a major league season to do something he's never done before? It's a bit much. It's a bit much. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that there's another side to this, and I can see how some guys in that clubhouse might be pissed off about it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I completely agree with you, and we agree on the fact it should have been taken care of before the season.
Absolutely, no,
and
100%.
And the
then
thing
you don't
is,
have a problem right now.
Tristan Casas, he didn't even play last year because of his oblique.
No, like
and
60
then
games, like 60.
You know, virtual swings. He's taking virtual swings.
Yeah,
and
virtual swings,
you know, and mental swings.
Mental swings.
So number one, you know, this guy is not. I mean, even you and I were talking about preseason, like. We wanted him gone. We wanted him traded. We wanted him to play well. Get rid of him. So it's like you should have had the inkling. Like he might not be our long-term solution. Either A, get someone, or B, develop someone. And you did neither.
Yep. And I mean, they were clearly trying to trade him to the Mariners for Luis Castillo in the offseason, and the Mariners said no thanks. And
they look like geniuses.
They do. And also, but the Red Sox should be counting their lucky stars that Casas didn't sign whatever 7 or 8 year extension that they wanted him to sign before last season as well. Because he's not, you know, I hate to say it. I mean, this is a major injury he's coming back off of. This is the point's really not about Casas here, but it does create a mess for the Red Sox because now you can't bring up. You have 2 uber prospects. You have the #1 prospect in baseball sitting in Worcester. And
can Roman Anthony play first base?
No, he's an outfielder. But that's the problem, is you have a lot. See, if you just never signed Trevor Story, you wouldn't have had this problem because you knew that Marcelo Mayer was coming in a couple of years. And you said, nope, we're going to give 6 years. We're going to let Chaim Bloom give 6 years to Trevor Story, and I ripped it the day that it happened because you knew Bogarts was gone that day. Bogarts is gone. Granted, he's fallen off a cliff, but now you're stuck with Story, who's a replacement-level player unless he's at Coors Field. That's your problem because now you have a top 10 prospect in Mayer. Anthony's going to be a stud. I think Mayer's going to be really good, too, as it turns out.
But Anthony looks like an absolute freak.
He's a monster.
I want him up so badly.
So badly. This kid just turned 21 years old. Like, it's ridiculous. And Mayer's been your answer at shortstop for a long time. I've seen some of the plays he makes in the field. He's already a better defender than Trevor Story. No one wants to talk about that. But there's your problem is you've got roadblock guys here. And you created this. I mean, listen. Alex Bregman's been everything and more than's been advertised.
He's been amazing.
He's great. Perfect fit for this team. Perfect fit for Fenway. It works. Perfect fit for the clubhouse. It works. But you created a problem here. And now you're too left-handed. You got too many good outfielders. You don't have a first baseman. And you got 2 guys sitting in the minors that are stuck. What do you do? So that was not really much of a quick hit. That was a really good conversation, sir. We have got 4 more points to go. I think some of the others
Before you do, I just imagine Bregman, Mayer, Campbell, Devers. Like, you're set.
It's perfect. It's perfect. But you can't. Maybe you start working them out before games or something, but he's got to be willing to do that. You know what I mean? So,
and I think he would have if that was the first thing you came with.
If it was in February and you said, we're signing Bregman, okay, we still want you to be on the field in some capacity, which probably would have been better for his confidence. We may need some help at first at some point.
Yes, exactly. He wouldn't have thought to himself, you don't believe in me.
That's kind of what it comes down to.
That's essentially what you told him. You're not good enough in the field. We want you out.
Pretty much. Yeah. So now, can you blame him when he's like, oh, well, 2 months ago, a month and a
Can you
half,
blame him for giving him the bird? No.
a month and a half ago, you said, well, I'm a DH, so I'm a DH now. What do you mean you want me to play first? I get it. I get it. I
Now,
get it.
now maybe they come back because Henry talked to him last night. So maybe they come back and say, "Hey, we're going to start now, and the plan going forward is for you to be our first baseman. If you can like glaze him up like that, maybe he comes around."
Yeah, John Henry don't care that much. So yeah, that was not exactly a quick hit. We're gonna move to the next point. That was good stuff though. Quick hit number 2, Josh. Brad Marchand is once again downing the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs. Death taxes and Marchand down in the Maple Leafs in the playoffs. It's fun to see, except you hate the Panthers. But if Florida advances to the next round and beats the Maple Leafs, which looks very likely, Marchand just had a game winner in overtime last night, I believe, or was it right at the end of regulation? Either way, it was very satisfying. If Florida advances, the traded pick for Marchand that the Bruins received in 2027 becomes a first-round pick. Okay? It's also likely that Marchand will not be back in free agency this offseason. I believe his wife put up their home for sale in South Boston. Very sad. I was very sad at the time. I'm still not happy about it. But are we okay with Marchand potentially winning a cup with the Panthers while also helping Boston by getting a first-round pick?
I mean, I think if you're a fan of the Bruins, again, like I used to say it all the time, Marchand was a rat, but he was just our rat. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it was like Petey. Petey was a rat, but he was our rat. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're a fan of the Bruins, you love that he might win, right? Because you want, and maybe he doesn't kill you because maybe he just goes out on top. Maybe he just leaves the game. And he doesn't sign a long-term deal with them or something like that. That'll absolutely kill us, right? I think all of us would be heartbroken. We were heartbroken when he was traded. So I don't think if you're a Bruins fan, it really hurts you that much. It's not like the Panthers are like giant rivals anyway. They just were because of last year. And
Like 3 years in a row, but yeah, okay.
But you know what I mean? Like they're not. It's not like he's going to the Maple Leafs. It's not. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Not
I mean,
yet.
if he did, we probably all die. But you know what I mean? I don't think if you're a Bruins fan, it hurts you to watch him win because you love the guy.
It's a lot like Ray Bork to me when they traded him to Colorado at the end. It's kind of like that. A little bit like that. I will say this, though. Marchand's still got plenty left in the tank. He's not retiring. I'll tell you that right now. He's going to play at least 2 more years. But I'm with you. You got to be happy that they are advancing because, not that Don Sweeney knows what to do with it, but hopefully by 2027, Don Sweeney's not here. So, yeah. But, right? Yeah, no, that's never going away, buddy. That's never going away.
I agree. They both need to go.
That's 11 years of proven data that he does
But
not
they're
know
like this. So it's not going to happen.
No, I know. No, I've said that. And people talk about it all the time, and I keep saying it on the show. I say it all the time. I'm like, you do realize they're a package deal, right? Sweeney does not go unless Neely goes too. That they were roommates. They played on the same team in the league for 8 years. They're
like best friends. They're not. He's not going to fire
happening. He's not going to fire him. You guys are idiots sometimes. But anyway, another good talking point, Josh. Here we go. Quick hit number 3. This will be a quick hit because it should be an easy answer. Little football for you. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they traded wide receiver George Pickens, and we kind of knew that was going to happen, and a 6th-round pick for a 3rd and a 5th-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys this week. First question, is there anything more Cowboys than this move? And 2, can it actually work, especially when he's not going to be the number 1 target in the passing game?
Now, prerequisite, Pickens hasn't signed a long-term deal, right?
Correct.
So, A, how are you going to pay him? But B, it's not going to work. And there's nothing more Cowboy. There's nothing more Cowboy than that. It's not going to work. The guy is a head case. And you got arguably maybe the 5th best, 4th best receiver in the NFL on the other side. You're not going to get the ball nearly as much as you think you should.
Nope. I mean, it could do wonders. There is a world where it could do wonders for both of them, where somebody's going to be one-on-one no matter what, but I'm kind of with you. Yeah, it's not going to work.
The Cowboys are not going to pay him 30, 35 million a year.
No. But so he's going to be gone in free either.
He's going to be gone in free agency. So what has he got? 1 more year or 2?
I think this is his last year.
Right?
Didn't you pick up a 5th-year option on him though?
I thought only the original team could do that, right?
Original team. Yeah, that's right. Yep, you're right. Very good. Yeah, it's not going to work, and it is the most Cowboys thing ever to try and make this work. Good job, Jera. Okay, Josh, quick hit number 4. Josh, I am sure that you've heard by now that the new Pope is the first American Pope in history. He is from Chicago.
Yeah,
Did
what
you?
school did he go to?
I that I don't know.
Villanova
Villanova, great. Okay.
with Brunson and Hart, and no, I don't want to talk about Pope.
DiVincenzo on that commercial. Yeah, that's not where I was going with this at all, but thanks. All right. Thanks for that. Now I know where he went to school. It's still weird that the Pope's American to me, but here we go. Did you know that the new Pope was found on MLB archive footage from the 2005 World Series in the bleachers with a White Sox jacket on at a home game in the 2005 World Series between the Houston Astros and Chicago White Sox, a series that the White Sox ultimately would go on to win in 6 games? Josh, does it trouble you that he may not have the best judgment because he's a White Sox fan?
Hey man, he must have prayed that well that they won the World Series. So I mean, you know,
Pretty sure he sold his soul then. We're not supposed to talk about that on the show. Yeah. Right?
do you think he's still a White Sox fan?
I don't know. It's got to be tough. I feel like he's got other things to worry
Maybe he
about right
transferred
now.
to the Cubs. Maybe he transferred to the Cubs when
I
they
don't
won
know.
in
I think that's.
2016.
I think that they like bludgeon you in Chicago for doing that. But, well, anyway, all right. I guess we don't need. I guess that answers that question. And Josh, for the first time on the Terranadome, this is the second iteration of the show, 51st episode of this run, and like 107th overall. But I took 2 years in between, so I don't count the first 54, or whatever it is. If you, I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you have, but I have a Stone Cold What shirt on. I have a WWF, not WWE.
F.
I don't acknowledge the E. It's an F. The
Who
undisputed.
cares about the World Wildlife Foundation?
Oh, damn you, World Wildlife Foundation and your causes. Terrible you are. But I have WWF Undisputed Championship belt from 2002 on my shoulder. The nameplate will eventually say Terranadome on it. It's the last thing I do. It is 2025, not 2002, not 2005, but 2025. And tonight is WWE Backlash. It used to be a pay-per-view. Now it is called a PLE, which I believe stands for Premium Live Event, or Peacock Live Event, because you can get it on Peacock. Josh, the main event tonight is defending champion on his farewell tour, John Cena. Again, this is 2025 versus Randy Orton for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Again, it's not 2005, but it's 2025. Who wins this match tonight? What do you think of this matchup in 2025?
Well, I mean, for us old folk, the nostalgia is real,
Oh
right?
yeah,
20
brother.
years ago, 15, we were in our prime for watching wrestling, right? So, 20 years ago, we probably would have thought, like, man, I wonder who's going to actually be the better wrestler. Now we understand storylines and plot, and now we understand there's no way that John Cena loses.
Yes, and it's also politicking, and yeah, politicking's a nice word for it. Screwing people, perhaps. Randy Orton by far to me is a better wrestler. He's got more. They're both incredible on the microphone, incredible promo cutters. Not saying that Cena's a slouch, but Orton to me is one of the absolute best of all time. It makes me sad that they're putting him up. Cena's first title defense is against Randy Orton, who's my favorite wrestler in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years, I'm not counting Stone Cold. I'm not counting The Rock, although I've soured on The Rock as I think I mentioned that actually a couple shows ago that he ruined WrestleMania. Whoops. But not not like a Shawn Michaels, just for example. But yeah, what's been happening for the last 3 weeks is basically Cena cuts a promo, and then Orton shows up out of nowhere, and Cena turns around and RKO's him. It's happened 3 times now. When that keeps happening, stuff like that keeps happening in professional wrestling. It's an entertainment business, professional wrestling. The guy who keeps getting RKO'd is going to win the match. It's John Cena's farewell tour. He's not going to lose his first title defense. And I hate it because Orton's better than he is. Damn it. I shouldn't even care this much. I know what I sound like right now. But I'm going to watch that damn thing tonight, and I'm going to be pissed because I know Cena's going to win that match.
I'm gonna watch it just to get irritated.
Just to get angry. Let's have another beer. All right. Well, folks.
What?
What?
And another beer?
What? One
And
beer.
another beer?
What? Yeah, that was pretty good. Could have done if we rehearsed that, it would have been way better. But hey, man, it's jeez, man. Yeah, right about an hour, folks. It's a jam-packed hour, of course, as always. Josh, thank you so much once again.
I got one quick hit for you.
Hurry up. No, I'm just kidding.
25% of the season in. Are
Yes.
the Red Sox a playoff team?
Right now, no.
No.
But
I'm saying you have to make a prediction now. 1 quarter into the season, does this team make the playoffs?
something doesn't feel right.
I agree.
Something is off. I don't know what it is. I got a theory though, and
This team should be better.
It should be, and this isn't 100% my theory, but I'm gonna just for the sake of discussion, right? I think the baseball gods are punishing the Red Sox because they have screwed over Masataka Yoshida. I think that they need to do right by Yoshida. He's a good dude, great in the clubhouse, always got a smile on his face. And now I saw a video of him throwing last week. It does seem that he is actually on an injured shoulder. But if he can prove that he can hit, do something right by the guy, trade him away, do something. Because you're screwing this guy over, and the baseball gods are like, because now Walker Buehler's hurt. You lost Tristan Cassis. Something doesn't feel quite right. But to answer your question, I
You
think
need Joe Boo in the clubhouse.
yes, exactly right. Joe Boo. Correct. It's exactly what you need. You need Willie Mays Hayes running out there. I will say this, though, Josh. To answer your question, ultimately, I think yes. Because eventually, Story's going to get hurt. Mayer's going to come up here. Somebody else is going to get hurt. Roman Anthony's going to come up here. And on top of that, your best hitters, besides Alex Bregman, somewhat Wilyer Abreu, and I'm missing one more. Campbell has been a little hot and cold, but mostly good.
Well, I mean, at his age, he will be streaky.
Yes, of course. Yeah, he's 22 years old. He's a rookie. But like Jaron Duran's OPS is still like 630. Okay. Devers has been hot and cold. He's showing signs, but he's not there.
He seems to be getting more consistent, though.
He is. I mean, he's putting in good at bats. His swings look a lot better. He's getting there. But some of your big bats haven't gotten going yet. You really haven't had a catcher at all that's hit for anything. I'm concerned with the depth of the pitching. Like now Walker Buehler's hurt, but I think you got to get to, I don't know, man. I think you got to get to like 88, 89 wins and you're in. I think that's still doable. Honestly, I think it's doable. But something's got to change. So, do you want to answer your own question? And then we can.
I don't think they're a playoff team.
You don't.
I don't. I mean, if they prove me wrong, I'd be super happy because I coming into the season, we both thought this was going to be a turnaround year. But I might see like another 81 season. They just, I don't know. They're not hitting.
I get it. I do, but the talent on the roster is
yes, I agree. I agree.
You know what I mean? So, but I get it. I get it. Oh, and another thing too is the manager losing it a little bit.
And that's another thing. If we get another 81, is he gone? Like, because at this point, they went and spent money.
Maybe.
They got you guys. Like, there's no more defending him and saying, like, look at the roster. The roster's better this year. It's clearly better.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think it's a question that needs to be asked if Cora's losing his fastball a little bit as a manager. And he's not helping himself with the Devers thing either. But folks, we'll definitely get into more Red Sox as we move along here because inevitably these playoff teams in the NBA will be whittled down. Football season is still quite a ways away. We will get into plenty of baseball on the show. Josh, once again, thank you so much, my friend, for hobbling over to your computer there. And thanks for being on the show. And please do me a favor, wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. I hope you and your family and your wife as well. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Mother's Day tomorrow. It's supposed to be a beautiful day up here in New England. So Yeah, please do that
Yeah,
for me. And
thank you. I will indeed. It was a pleasure hobbling over here and getting a different line of sight in my house.
yeah,
I will definitely pass the words to my mother and my wife, pass the words to your mother as well.
we'll do. We'll do.
Enjoy the beautiful weather. I'm gonna maybe go outside tomorrow, so that's exciting. And go Seas.
Poor SOB. Hey, folks, yeah, yeah, thanks to Josh again. And folks, my name, of course, is Scott Terrana. It's the old Terranadome. And thank you all for the support and continued subscribing, the likes, the view counts, all the comments have been so positive. Still waiting for negative comments, guys. You know you can leave them, right? If you don't agree with me, you don't like my belt, I wouldn't blame you if you not that I care, but you can leave comments. It's okay. But folks, tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised, and I mean that is not promised. So make sure you tell your people you love them, check in on your loved ones, and do all that good stuff, folks, because you just never quite know nowadays. So we will be back next week on the show. I am predicting it will be earlier than a Saturday show, but we will let you know. Folks, have a good one. Go Seas for sure, Josh. Peace.